Boss.
Man, I tell you, but we gotta do this here together.
Boss.
It take a team
Boss up.
to achieve the dream.
We pay the cost to be the boss. Invest without loss. Young Boss Media, your coverage get tossed. From live stats, videos too. Tapped in the movies, the who's a who. Shows, pros, just do it for no. Entrepreneurs, plan, see how it grows. Fly magazines, we flip the scene. Check out Ray James, he on the big screen. By invitation across the nation. Young Boss Monica, she know what she facing. The leader of the crew, she know what to do. Check her out the front if you wanna come through. Only if you got her master plan. Make it in the control room, holla at Stan. Bless the hairstyle, thank God we healthy. Bossed up media, we taking over Chelsea. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. Business community, what we feeding ya. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. Business community, what we feeding ya. Young Boss Media, who you need is us. Business community, what we feeding ya.
Hey guys, how you doing? I'm JRose. Before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to that intro. It was so fire, had me vibing. That was really dope, Monica. So yes, I'm here to talk about my journey as an entrepreneur and what my specialty is. It started out as an event planner. I was doing private events, baby showers, weddings, things like that. But I am also a creative person. So what does that mean? I am a spoken word poet. So I tried really hard to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, because event planning wasn't, like, for me, the last stop. I didn't feel like that's where I was going to end it. So I decided to kind of incorporate my passion for creativity, my passion for the arts, and put that together with my passion for organizing events. So I am an event curator, and a curator is somebody who collects special things, right? So I consider myself an event curator because the events that I do is a collection of creative people. So I host showcases, I host open mics, I've hosted small business expos for women business owners and entrepreneurs. And, you know, it's been a journey. I've been doing this for 2 years at least, consistently. And I say that because consistency is the most important key to everything that I've been able to be successful in. So, you know, there's times where I'm tired, you know, I feel like I'm worn out. And, you know, I do take a break to kind of recuperate myself. But what I do realize is that I have to continue. I have to be consistent, because the minute I slack is the minute I let myself continue slacking and nothing gets done. So that's really one of the biggest keys to continuing being successful. And one of the going a little deeper into curating events. When you're curating events, you're looking for special talent, or let's say you're doing a small business expo, you're looking for business people, right? The most important thing to look at is you want to work with people that are serious about their craft, whether it's their business, whether it's a singer, a rapper, a poet, an artist. You know, you want to bring people onto your platform that are serious about their craft and their growth, especially in a space where you are highlighting them, where you are providing opportunities for them to get paid. You want people that are going to be serious about what they're doing. So, like, for example, like my open mics, they are open to all types of creativity. So with the open mics, it's anyone can come out, get on the stage, express yourself. But when I'm featuring someone on my open mic, or I have a featured performer, this is somebody that I, you know, handpicked because they are super talented, they're super consistent, and they are serious about their craft and they really want to grow. So I really try to highlight people like that. And it benefits everybody because, you know, they get to come on, they make some money because you get paid, you pay them. And also, you know, because they're so serious about their craft and they're so consistent, they have an audience that wants to see them, which is great because in turn you get to have a successful event because people want to come out and see these featured artists. And you can do the same thing. You know, this pandemic really put us all in a space where we kind of, a lot of people were confused and didn't know what direction they wanted to go. But I have to be honest, like this kind of put me in a space where like I really thrived creatively and my platform really thrived as well, because everything I was doing in person, all I did was turn it around and do it virtually. So, you know, and because I'm so experience in doing it in person, that like doing it virtually really wasn't that difficult. It wasn't that difficult of a transition, which I really, you know, was surprised about. And uh you know, I really I you know, I just feel bad because a lot of people weren't as successful during this time. People kind of like let this quarantine kind of take them down, but I didn't allow that because I know that I'm serving my purpose. So I know that any move that I make, any decision, any way I go, the universe is going to continue like providing me the opportunity. So for example, I have a virtual open mic that I do. I started doing an erotic virtual open mic once a month, and I have a talk show that I recently shifted into. I just launched the second season when we were finally able to film again. But before that, I was doing a virtual talk show. So I literally just put everything in the virtual space, and you know, being organized really helped as well. So that's another big key, huge key to doing anything. I know a lot of people that know me, they're like, wow, you really do a lot. And I do. I mean, that's just the entrepreneurial thing, you know. Um, Look at me now, like I'm supposed to be at the office on my laptop with this like great aesthetic look, but you know, got stuck in traffic and I had to pull over and do this on my phone. And that's just the life of an entrepreneur. That's what we do, you know. We kind of like roll with the punches. We're masters of adaptation, and that's what you have to be. You have to be a master at adapting. You can't just be set in one way and think that that's the only way that things are going to be able to go smoothly or be successful. You have to be super open to adapting, you know, your plan. You may have a master plan, but you have to be okay if your master plan needs to change a little bit, you know, and that you need to be okay with that. And a lot of people that are challenged with change, that don't like change, a lot of times they end up failing in pursuing a lot of their dreams and their goals because they don't realize how much change it takes to be successful. So consistency and change, I know they sound a little opposite, but they actually are like the balance that you need. um so yeah, like it was this quarantine was interesting to say the least. um and you know, back to just staying organized. Yes, being organized is the biggest one of the biggest keys as well. So for example, you know, checklists are really big. I'm super big on that. You know, putting things in your schedule. You have to understand that like when you taking your business seriously, you want to work with people that are taking their business seriously, right? And what do business people take seriously the most other than money is their time, because they're equivalent to each other in so many ways. So you have to be super respectful of other people's time, just like you expect people to be respectful of yours. So having a schedule and being organized is really is super key to being successful at anything, curating events, just being an entrepreneur in general. Because like I said, you don't want to schedule a call with somebody and, you know, they don't make it to the call, or because they didn't put it in their calendar, or you miss a really important meeting because you didn't put it down, you didn't write it somewhere, you didn't put it in your phone. So being organized and um I'm a big, like, I write things down. So like I need a checklist for everything because I need to see, like, visualize it. You need to visualize that task being done. And there's no, like, better feeling than having a really busy day and then going back to your checklist and being like, I did that, I did that, I did. Ooh, yes. You feel like, oh, I'm unstoppable today. I got all this stuff checked. So that's definitely one of those. Maybe I'm weird for that. I don't know. If you guys are down with that, let me know. Show me some comments if you're into the checklist thing, because I definitely am. Um, and I use a lot of digital programs to help me do that. Um, so recently I went from, because I've been doing these virtual events, there's this, like, huge need for content, right? So what ended up happening was, because I'm so into everything, I just have various interests. So it's difficult being an entrepreneur and a creative at the same time, because you have so many ideas. And it's so hard to, like, you want to do everything at the same time. You want it all to happen, but you have to, like, time yourself, right? So now you have to allow yourself to evolve organically. So yes, I was doing event planning, then I started doing performance-based events and creative events. Then now I'm in a space where I'm doing virtual events, and I'm in media because I'm doing a talk show and um things like that. But that led me to also now start doing more for myself, like being more involved in, like, the things that I need for my business to run. So I'm doing graphic art, doing graphic design, and I never really imagined myself going in that space, and I'm managing multiple social media accounts. And now it's getting to a point where people are reaching out to me and they're saying, what are you doing to be so successful? Can you teach me? And I will pay you. Like, what is your time worth? And that should be a goal of yours as an entrepreneur. You want calls like that. You want text messages like that. You want people to reach out to you and say, teach me. I will pay you to teach me, because I value your time and your knowledge. So doing a lot of research in the things that whatever you're involved in your business, you should definitely do a lot of research. I've definitely looked into, like, what's the best program for this and what's the best, software for that. Looking at reviews, comparing different programs, comparing prices, if it's what you get worth, if you're going to pay a little bit more, are you going to get a little bit more, as opposed to another product. And being smart in that way was one of the tools, one of the resources that I use, like that research, and really putting, like, the work into knowing your business, like everything about it. Like, when you get to the point where you're growing and you need a team, you need to hire people or get interns because you're so inundated with work. I mean, that's a good feeling. You have to make sure that the moves that you're making are scalable, and that you have the right people on your side, the right people, the right team. And that's why when I was listening to the intro earlier, I really was loving it, because it definitely mentioned everything that I was like, this intro is everything that I'm going to talk about, everything that I want to share about my journey as an entrepreneur and a creative. So I think that was really cool. But yes, that's definitely one of the most important things. I'm like trying to remember my checklist because I have it on my phone, but I'm talking to you guys, so I can't really look at my checklist. But yes, so I recently started doing the graphic art. I'm gonna start doing social media management and marketing consulting. And like I said, you don't always know what direction you're gonna end up going. So adjusting to the skills that I've learned by trying to know every aspect of my business has created new ways of me to do business and make money, which is great. And because I love to help people, and I think that like sharing knowledge is something that's really great. I've always liked teaching. um I think that I'm really excited about this journey, and I believe that those of you, if there's something that you're doing for your business, and you know there's like an add-on that you're interested as well, like don't be afraid to explore, you know, the different paths that your journey can go. Don't be afraid to do different things. You know, sometimes people will tell you like just stick to one thing and focus on just one thing, but we're living in a time where like people's attention spans are so short. I mean, you know, you have literally 15 seconds on an Instagram story to catch somebody's attention and keep them before they either swipe out of it or come out of the app entirely. So we're living in a time where people's attention is so short. So you have to be like quick. Um, so it's okay to have multiple projects. I mean, that's the point. You want to have multiple streams of income. I think, you know, we've all talked about it. We've all mentioned it. Like you want to have multiple streams of income. So don't be afraid to explore things even within your business or outside of it. Because let me tell you, this graphic design stuff and you know, doing like creating advertising commercials and doing consulting, like these are these are things I never really like imagined myself doing for money. um so you know, it's great. I'm having, although 2020 has been crazy, I feel like I've been able to thrive, and I really hope that all the workshops and the streams that you guys saw today, I really hope that if you're not if you're not pursuing your business by now, come on, let's do it. It's okay. You can have a 9 to 5 and still take your hobbies and your passions and turn them into something that you can gain monetary, you can benefit from, on, you know, financially from. uh Sorry, I'm at like at a loss of words sometimes. um so I remember when I first started curating events, I was always nervous about who's going to support me, you know, who's going to come out, who's going to come to the events, you know. And little by little, you know, of course, when you first start doing things, everybody's excited about it. You know, your friends are saying congratulations, your families are saying like, well, how are you making money like this? Are you going to quit your job? Like, how are you going to pay your bills? Trust me, you know, you get all those questions and you get like the excitement. But like when you're still, you know, you're being consistent, you have to also remember that the people around you may not always be consistent. So you have to be able to put yourself in a position where you're not just solely depending on the support of like the people that you personally know, like friends and family, because they support but so much, but for so long, you know. A lot of the support and the growth on on your platform or for your business is going to come from strangers and business affiliates. So, you know, having strong business relationships and having a really professional and you know, solid work ethic is also really key, because when you're like that, people want to work with you, people want to do business with you. And when you have a good reputation as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, people will talk about that and they'll speak of you in a good light. So you always want to try to maintain positive relationships. And you have to also recognize when there's toxic business relationships, because those exist. You know, there's people that sometimes, especially when doing business with friends and family, you know, it can be a little messy, you know, and you may love the person, you know, personally, but it doesn't mean that you gonna love them doing business. um and you have to like understand that. So like try to build really strong, solid relationships with strangers, and networking is huge. Coming to conferences like this, going to mixers, um even just going to different types of events that you probably would have never gone to. You never know who you're going to meet there, and it may not always be that person that you meet. It just could be somebody that they know. So it never hurts to talk about your business wherever you go. Like, wherever you're at the supermarket, give out your business card, or show somebody your social media info if that's what you need them to do. um but there's nothing wrong with, like, sharing people with people who you are wherever you go, because you never know who they know. And especially with what I do, as far as being in the creative space, anytime I mention to somebody that I host events and that I'm a spoken word poet, or whatever, at 99 out of 100 times the person says, "Oh, I know somebody that sings," or my sister, raps," or, "Oh, yeah, my wife likes poetry." And everybody knows somebody that is creative. They don't have to necessarily be creative themselves. So, that's also why, I'm never afraid to just talk about my business everywhere I go. I'll be at the frozen yogurt spot, like, "Hey, you like open mics?" So, don't be afraid to do that. Practice on your elevator pitch, 15 seconds. I know it's 30, 30 is okay, but if you could do it in 15 seconds, um, and really get it out there, and just at least catch that interest in 15 seconds, then you don't be afraid to do that, because you never know. Oh, are there questions? What are the steps to executing an event? The steps to executing an event, most definitely, the first thing I look at, if it's out an in-person event, the venue is always the first thing I want to look for and find. And before that actually is the budget. You have to know your budget, because that way it'll lead you to what type of venue you want to go for. And when it comes to the venue, I always look for, location is huge as far as like public transportation, because even though it may have like a parking lot, you can't expect that everybody is gonna drive or has a car or that type of means of transportation. So I always look for venues that are definitely near, closer to trains and buses, because I'm in New York. So, but because the trains are a little faster. But I definitely look for a venue that has public transportation, very close. After that, I really start looking at, I really start thinking about who I want to feature. So I think about, well, what type of event is this going to be? And usually with the events that I do, I always mix a lot of creative avenues in one space. So usually with my events, I have like live art. So somebody's always painting or sculpting. I usually always have photographers, videographers, poets, you name it, dancers. We've had like belly dancers at my events. So I always try to think about, like, okay, so what type of event is this, and how can I like make this a little different? How can I spice this up? So, like, for example, if it's a venue where I can bring my own alcohol, I'll make like a signature drink for the night that goes with the theme. And because I'm a party planner, when I do these like showcases, I really go in with like decorating and like just little details that, maybe I'm the only one that notices them, but I feel like they do add to the experience. And a lot of people leave these events and they turn to me and they're like, "Wow, I never experienced something like this. This was so cool." And it's actually starting to happen now in the virtual space, because we have people that come in that are doing like magic tricks, and people that are so talented that maybe were really shy and didn't want to be on stage in front of people in person, are now coming out of their shells and showing all these amazing talents like virtually. So, I'm enjoying that as well. Um, but yes, budget, venue, and who am I going to feature are definitely the things that I look at right away. Yes. Thank you. Yes, they are epic. It's so true. We've had so many amazing performances, and even like our small business expo, that was like probably one of the biggest events I've ever curated, and we had over 30 women business owners and entrepreneurs there, and it was it was intense planning that. Everything down to getting sponsors, to keeping track of all the vendors, and renting the tables and the chairs, and it was just so much. But I stayed organized. I had my checklist. I One thing that event did teach me, though, is the budgeting is definitely very important. It was a lesson learned. You definitely have to like come up with your budget and stick to your budget. Do not break from your budget just because you really want the event to happen, or you want it to be successful, you want it to have a certain look. Really stay within the means of your where you stand financially, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where the event is beautiful, it looks amazing from everybody else's perspective except your bank account. So definitely, when you're going to make your budget, be very, very, very realistic. So shop venues around, look at the pricing. How much do they charge for a Friday night, Saturday night versus like a Thursday night? If you're trying to save money, can your event be held during the week? Because most venues are a lot cheaper Monday through Thursday than they are Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Think about like, what does the venue provide? If it's a space that already has food and all of that, it might be difficult for you to do an event where you have to like charge at the door, because they have their own customers, and their customers don't ever have to pay to come in to eat. So different things like that, depending on the type of event you're trying to do, and the type of venue that you want to host it in, will definitely dictate how you plan the rest of the event. um yeah, oh, thanks, you're welcome, Hannibal. um so yeah, that definitely, like, the budget is huge for sure. Let me see. Okay, so thanks so much, guys, for your time. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry for the car view, but masters is adaptation. That's what we do. If you'd like to follow me and connect with me, and if you need any of my services or advice, please reach out to me. I'm at the Rose Garden events right there. Yes, follow me on Instagram or Facebook. Even our website, everything's the Rose Garden events. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and stay successful. Peace. Keep growing.
Yes.